Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium and a whole bunch of other things which I thoroughly enjoy, like teaching and event organizer and you name it. I'm kind of like the Swiss Army knife of spiritual people these days, but that's what I'm doing and I'm pretty excited about it. So thanks so much for joining me today. Today is another installment of my video series that I produce every Wednesday called Way Out Wednesdays, or the acronym of WOW. And today we're going to talk about probably the most important thing that you can learn, the most important thing that you will use in your life. That's a pretty big statement. And I know some of you are like, prove it. And I will. We're going to be talking about discernment. Now, listen, when you're a baby, when you're a toddler, you're taught discernment. Those are stairs. Don't go down them, right? Use your parent's hand when you walk. You're taught this thing is bad and could potentially cause me to have a really bad day. I don't want to do that. That is the beginning of discernment. Now, as you go through your childhood, you're taught more and more discernment. Don't take candy from the dude in the van. That's bad, right? This is true, though. These are really things that we teach our kids. We have to help our kids understand what is safe and what isn't safe. What does a safe person look like? What does an unsafe person look like? Another thing you might say is like, don't take money out of mom's or dad's wallets. Lots of things that you might learn as a child that would be important, right? So, but when we get to be adults, I don't know, the learning stops. People think they don't need to learn anything. I'm an adult. I learned everything I needed to learn when I was a kid. But my dear spiritual friends, we are now in a new world. As you might say, we're not in Kansas anymore. Toto. I don't want to drag Toto in this, but Toto's here. So why is it different? Well, because the veil is thinning, because our memories are coming back, because our pineal gland is getting activated. I don't know. The new age, marketing department has a different reason for every one of these. It's almost like Hallmark for spiritual people. We're going to come up with this. The veil is thinning. Your gland is opening. Your chakras are opening. You're having an ascension. I mean, come on. How many ways can you say the same thing? Well, how many videos do I need to make? So that's why. So anyway, but it's true. It is really true. Our abilities are becoming closer to the surface of our consciousness. Look, that's probably number 5. That's probably the 5th new way I've said that. You never know. I might come up with a 6th, 7th, 8th, or even 10th, right? So it's important because I know if you're watching me and you're still watching me, well, you're a glutton for punishment. But besides that, you've had dreams you can't explain. You've had things you can't explain. You've heard things you can't explain. You've seen a ghost. You've seen an angel. You've had a vision that came true. Any number of things has happened to you. And perhaps at this time, they're happening even more than ever before. Or maybe you had a time in your life when they were happening frequently and, you needed to shut it off. Maybe you needed to be a mom, a business person. You needed to do something different in your life. And at the time, spirituality and these other things didn't quite jive. So you said spirituality out the door. See you later. And maybe now it's coming back. That's why discernment is important. We need to be talking about discernment for adults, discernment for spiritual adults. This is super important. It's also going to help you with those narcissists that might be sneaking around trying to fish for your attentions. If you're an empath, you are food. They are attracted to us empaths. We have a special power to attract narcissists. So it's called no boundaries. It's basically what it's called. It's called childhood trauma mixed with no boundaries. It's delectable for narcissists. So we want to learn some discernment. Now, we're not only going to learn discernment for the 3D, we're going to learn discernment for beyond the veil, for the non-physical. Very important. I've done a lot of these videos. I've done a lot of Way Out Wednesdays videos. And this topic has come up and I've touched on it, just here and there, but I've not really tackled it completely full on. And that's what we're going to do today. So as above, so below. As above, so below. Below would be you and I toiling here on the planet, trying to figure out our human freaking lives. What are we doing? What are we supposed to be doing? Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, maybe I should have done that. I don't know. I'm super confused. That's us. Now, above, they're watching us with amusement, but also lots and lots of love. And that's just some of them, right? So we need to talk about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is the ones we're not talking about. And that is the trickster energy. Your spirit guides love you. They love you so much. They love you, love you, love you. Pour love on you. They love everything about you. If you think you're a failure, they think it's cute. If you think you made a terrible decision, they call it a lesson. I'm telling you, they love you. So just get over it. Get up off the floor. Stop throwing a fit, pulling your hair out. Not going to work. I already tried it. I did it for you. Didn't work. Get up, dust yourself off, and know you're worthy. Your spirit guides freaking love you to death. You could not disappoint them. You want to know how I know this? Well, because spirit guides have really tough customers, like some of our political figures. So they love them. And if they love them, I know they got to love me. I ain't that bad, right? Now, what about the ones that don't love us? Wait, there's some that don't love us? Discernment, honey, discernment. Sit down. You are now in Discernment 101. Get your books out. Stop chewing gum. You in the back, put your cell phone away. You, yes. Now, here's the deal. Here's the dealio, they want to say exactly. And that is that there are energies that want to trick you, that want to play with us like a cat plays with a mouse or a ball of string. That is exactly the energy. They're 99.5%, which is funny, not going to turn you into a toad or take over your mind or make you say terrible things to your boss so you get fired. I mean, that's only that 0.5%. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 95.5, which is the kind of tricksters that just jack with you because they think it's funny. They're like a bunch of bad teenagers, in the spirit world. And they just love taking a newly awakened soul who's like, oh, just fresh as a daisy in their spiritness. And they're just consuming books and videos and meditating and using oracle cards and burning sage and having crystals. Yet they're not checking the closet. You're in the horror movie where you forgot to check the closet, and me and all the people in the audience are screaming, check the closet, but you're not listening. You're not listening. What jumps out the closet? Fill in the blank. Depending on what movie you watched, fill in the blank. Again, this isn't going to be Chainsaw Massacre. This is going to be, oh, my pendulum is saying weird things. My pendulum is wrong. Why is my pendulum wrong? Wait a minute. These cards are kind of off. Wait, I don't know if I can trust my guidance. And oh no, now when I meditate, I'm feeling like I don't know. I'm seeing a brick wall. I'm not able to meditate. Or here's a really good one, guys. And I'm telling you from personal experience. Oh my gosh, I met some ascended masters. Oh my God, I told everybody I met ascended masters. They wanted to work with me. I was so, oh my gosh. I was like, you want to work with me? Okay. What do I have to do? Oh, I just have to meet with you. Oh, fantastic. Okay. So in our Discernment Course 101, that will be the first thing. They didn't ask anything. They didn't ask me to put a hex on anybody. That's always good. They didn't say bad things about me right off the bat. That's always really, really good. So if you're working with an energy and it says you're dumb, that's a sign. That's a sign, peeps. That's a sign you should hang up the phone, hang up the spiritual phone, block the caller. Your spirit guides are never going to call you dumb. Never, ever. Remember, go back to the beginning of the video. Rewind. Your spirit guides love you. When you fall down, when you make a mistake, when you make a really, let's say, hasty decision that doesn't turn out very well, they love you. So if you're meditating and you connect with a spiritual ascended being and, they look like whatever you want them to look like. Okay. So if your idea of ascended spiritual master is a goddess in a beautiful white dress with a gold lame and, maybe some serpent coming out, whatever it is, that's what they're going to look like. If your idea of an ascended master is a wizard, that's what they're going to look like. If your idea of ascended master is Pee Wee Herman, then that's what it's going to look like. Believe me, I do this for a living and I meet people's guides and I'm like, really? That's what you chose for a guide? Interesting. But anyway, that's cool. Right? Who am I to judge? I'm not judging you. I am not judging you. I'm just saying that was an interesting choice for a guide. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Different strokes for different folks, people. So that is why when you're in the spirit world, and wait, Susan, you didn't say I was in the spirit world. You said I was meditating. Honey, when you're meditating, you're not on planet Earth. You are not on planet Earth. You are gone. Where are you going? That's a question that we're going to talk about in just a minute. But first of all, when you're meditating and you haven't chosen a direction, so you're just out in the ether floating around with unicorns, you didn't put in your spiritual GPS, I want to go to love and light. I want to go to 100% divine energy that has my highest good in its little energetic soul. You just said, I'm going to meditate. Now, you could have shot straight up into some other realm and accidentally taken the wrong turn. And now you're in a place that looks just like the place you visited last time. Unicorns, sunflowers that are talking to you. This is not an acid trip. I've never done acid, but if you have, leave a comment below to let me know if that's really what it's like. However, you're in the same place. You think you're in the same place. That's where the discernment comes in. And you're seeing all this and you're like, ooh, I love it. So groovy. I love it. And then you meet the wizard or Pee Wee Herman or the alien or whatever it is for you. Not judging. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's him. And you go all fangirl or fanboy. It's her. It's my spirit guide. Maybe you even talking to the unicorn. I don't know. This is choose your own adventure. This is your thing. So with discernment, you would be able to say, that doesn't look right. That doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn? I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go back to my body. Because when you interact with these tricksters, what they do, and even if they get your trust, which they did mine, they knew she's kind of savvy. Plus her dad and spirit's been screaming discernment for a month. That man screamed discernment at me every day. And I got really mad about it because I was like, Dad, stop telling me discernment. Like maybe some better words would be, Susan, you'll need to look up the word discernment and you might need to learn a lot about discernment. But he always was a man of few words. So all he did was scream the word discernment at me. And I just decided to not pay attention. Do not be like me. I tell you all the time. So here we are. We're in the meditation nirvana. And you're meeting some spirit guides or you're meeting ascended masters or whatever it is you're meeting. And you're thinking, this is it. I'm actually channeling. I'm getting information. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for years. It's finally happening to me. I can't believe it. I'm not going to screw this up. I'm not going to screw it up. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stay with it. I'm finally connected. And then you start getting information. It sounds really good. And you're like, oh yeah, love and light, lift up the world. The standards, the pop 40 spiritual hits. They're playing all the songs. Then they start working with you on lessons and they start giving you lessons and you're like, okay. And in these lessons, you're envisioning or imagining or feeling or knowing that you're doing certain things. Or that this actually happened last night. This is a cue as well. My dog, my Zoe dog, came to me while I was in one of these dreams. Now, this is sleeping. You don't even have to meditate. Y'all, some of y'all probably turn the video off like, I don't meditate. I'm not listening to her, but she is funny. Maybe I'll stick around. Ah, right. Though, those of y'all that don't meditate, what do you think you're doing when you're asleep? Hello. Hello. You're gone in your sleep. And it's even more important to be discerning. Do you know how much trouble I've gotten in my sleep? A lot more trouble than when I was actually awake. So last night, I've been doing a lot of dream lessons lately, a lot of, where I'm working all night long. And then I wake up and I'm exhausted. And I wake up at 4 a.m. They'll work with you with these lessons in the subconscious so that you can sort of get in the hang of it, so that then eventually when you wake up, you'll have a remembrance of it. Many times we just disregard that because it doesn't make any sense. So I would encourage you to write down anything that you dream. Write it down. Doesn't have to make sense. Write it down. It'll make sense later. So I was in the middle of one of these things closer to when I was waking up, and my dog showed up. And she doesn't ever show up in my dreams because she thinks this stuff is really a pain in the butt. She doesn't like it. So she shows up in my dream, and the ascended master that was trying to talk to me, whom I was pretty sure I did not want to talk to them, because what is the word? Discernment. This entity, this joker, decided that he was going to sort of swat my dog away. I was like, oh, them's fighting words right now. We fixing to fight. And believe you me, I have fought in the spiritual world. It's not something my guides want me to do. And it's not even something I would encourage you to do, because they often tell me, you're human. Stop. You're human. I'm in the spiritual world like I'm spirit, like they are. And I'm fixing to, you know what I'm saying? Open up a can. And my guides are like, you're a human. You're not spiritual. You just playing a spiritual actor on this TV set. You stop. So that was an indication. So this is something else. Anytime you have an interaction with any entity, just like if you have an interaction with any human and they disrespect you, that's discernment. They're out. Your guides will never disrespect you. If they disrespect you, they're out. If they disrespect something you care or love about, they're out. They make fun of your family, they're out. They make fun of your pet, they're out. They make fun of a hobby you're doing, they're out. They make fun of you, they're out. That's all disrespect, in case you weren't clear about what disrespect is. These are tests. It's just like a narcissist. They test you. Is this going to be a good, tasty treat? Or is this going to be something I don't want to jack with? Well, if you don't respond to being disrespected and you allow them to disrespect you, they'll continue to disrespect you. And you want to know what? They'll bring their friends to disrespect you. That's why it's so important to raise your vibration in your human body and in your human environment. Raise your vibration. Learn boundaries. Go to YouTube. Learn how to put down a boundary in a way other than having to have a fight. Those of us that don't know how to do boundaries, we have to get mad. When we get mad, then there's a boundary. Let me tell you, there's a boundary. Somebody's going to feel that boundary. The neighbors are going to hear that boundary. That's not exactly the way to do it. You want to put down the boundary while everybody's still civil, because those narcissists in the human form and narcissists in the spirit form will not bother with you. You're not an easy mark. There's so many others. So they're not going to bother you. And therefore, you've used your discernment. They've crossed a line. They disrespected you. They disrespected something that you love. They made fun of you. They lied to you. They asked you to do something that you thought was unacceptable. Like, for instance, if you get the guidance that you need to every midnight light a candle and have a ritual, yet you're the person that has to be up at 5, that's disrespectful. Your spirit guides are never going to ask you to do something disrespectful unless you're like me and you think it's disrespectful for them to ask me to not eat chocolate. or disrespectful for me to not eat so much cheese. Well, okay, so I argue. I mean, I'm like, dang, take all the fun out of life. Wait, not even worth living. So yeah, I talk back. But they're not being disrespectful. They're actually trying to keep me alive. They're actually trying to improve my health. So another thing I would suggest is don't argue with your spirit guides the way I do. I'm not trying to model that behavior. It just comes out. So now you're saying, well, now I'm afraid to sleep, Susan, but you don't have to be, because when and this is interesting, and they're showing me this in my mind, so many things we did, and I'm not saying this is religious, because I don't think it has anything to do with religion, other than I think religion noticed certain things and they thought, that's a damn good idea. We're going to adopt that, and then we'll take credit for it. I'm sorry, I'm not a big organized religion fan. So when you pray over your food, well, guess what? That's been proven scientifically to work. There's scientific studies that you can find on YouTube where they prayed over water. It works. It changes the molecular structure of the water. So guess what? Praying over our food is not a bad idea. And no religion owns it. Another one is praying before you go to bed at night. Now, I didn't grow up in a religious household, as you might know, as you can tell. But back in the day, and I mean back in the day, you would kneel and pray before you went to bed. Hello, that's a pretty useful thing. Even if you don't kneel, even if you get into bed and you have a sense of connecting with God's source. Humans, another fallacy, and one that we are handily trying to crawl over, climb over, blast through, whatever, is separation. So there's a separation, right? When we're born, we have amnesia. We don't remember that we're psychic. We don't remember we have intuition. We don't remember any of these things. Well, because it's like we wanted to take the test without having the answers. We didn't want an open book test. We wanted to figure this out. Don't ask me why this thing is designed the way it is. I call it bad Disneyland. Anyway, here's the thing. Connecting with God's source is removing the separation. Just get it out of your mind. Let it go. There is no separation. Be one with whatever that is for you, the universe, source, God, whatever it is. Be one with it. Remove the separation. The separation allows groups like organized religion to control us. And this is what happened when Jesus appeared here on this planet. That's what he was trying to tell everybody, is you are your own church. You are your own God. You can be in church right here in this desert. You can perform miracles. You can heal yourself. He was basically trying to tell us to remove separation. So once you remove separation and you get connected to God's source, you're much more protected. You have the ability to have that discernment. For one reason, you know what God's source feels like. You're bringing that unconditional love into your body. If you unconditionally love yourself, and I understand this is a tall order, because I have it too, right? I'm an empath, just like you. I struggle with it right now today. However, I'm 1,000% better than I was 5 years ago, because I took steps to love myself more, be more gentle with myself. Don't scream at myself. Don't be critical of myself. Don't make fun of myself. And you want to know what? Don't do it to others. Don't make fun of other people. Don't be critical of other people. Give everybody a pass. You Pee Wee Herman spirit guide folk out there, I'm going to give you a pass. I don't care. I don't care what your spirit guide looks like. I really don't. So when we stop judging others and we stop judging ourselves, then that's not a wound that can wounds, soul wounds, energy wounds, childhood wounds, past life wounds. That looks like a big old mess of candy for these jokers, for these tricksters, for the human tricksters, the human narcissist, and the spiritual narcissist. So when we start identifying, digging deep, and figuring out, ooh, I've got a wound around self-worth. I've got a wound around forgiveness. I've got a wound around abandonment. Nobody said it was fun. I didn't say it was fun. Nowhere in this video have you heard me say the word fun. But it is absolutely going to help you be more discerning. And it's absolutely going to help you have more fun. And it's absolutely going to help you have more joy and more fulfillment, because this stuff is buried deep, so deep that we don't even know it's there. We have no idea it's there, except for that you can look out with your own human eyes at the train wreck of your life and see the manifestation of it. If you have people you're not talking to, people that have hurt you, people that have betrayed you, people that have stolen from you, or perhaps you've betrayed and stolen and hurt others, and you can't understand why is this happening? You know, why do I act like this? Or why do people act like this to me? I'm a good person. Well, because it's hidden to you. It's hidden from you, but it's available for all of these jokers, all of these narcissists, spiritual or otherwise, to see. They see it like it's lit up like Vegas, but we can't see it. So discernment has a lot to do with shadow work. Shadow work is getting inside and figuring out, what are the patterns in my life? Do I have a pattern of people betraying me? Do I have a pattern of people abandoning me? Do I have a pattern of people disrespecting me? Because if you have those patterns in your 3D, you're going to have them in the other realms. As above, so below. As below, so above. But you don't fix it up there. That's the thing people don't understand. You don't fix it up there. You have to fix it in this, which is harder, but much more worthwhile. The payoff is exponential. I mean, exponential. Everything you've ever wanted that you have not been able to get. Health, money, love, success, whatever. It all lies in figuring out where the wound is, healing it, addressing it, loving yourself. And then you're in alignment with that which you fixed. Before, you were in alignment with the broken, with the betrayal and the heartache and the disrespect, because that's what was in here. So now you fixed it, and you're over here, you're in alignment with success and health and wealth and joy and ease and peace. So when you do that, that is discernment. It's very hard to be discerning when you have something operating inside of you, deep, buried deep inside of you, that you don't know is causing all this ruckus. Because your brain is literally its own little kingdom. It doesn't care what's happening in your heart or in your soul or in your chakras. It cares about paying the grocery bill, stopping at the red light, taking care of family. Very, very 3D things. But if it doesn't know that there's a whole nother world in here that is broken, that is emitting an energy that is an attractant to more pain and misery, it can't help you fix that. So it says, this is bizarre. Why is all this happening to me? It doesn't make sense. When you say to someone, it doesn't make sense, I don't understand why this keeps happening to me. That's why, because you're living in your brain and you're completely not paying attention to what's happening in your shadow. They call it the shadow. The sun has a shadow, folks. We all have a shadow. If the sun has a shadow, you got a shadow. I got a shadow. That place where you're jealous of people, that place where you judge people, that place where you judge yourself. Maybe you don't admit to it, but it's there. And when you see it and you own it, I mean, make friends with it. Admit it. Own it. Sometimes I am judgmental. I am judgmental, y'all. I'm in my car. I'm judging every car, you driving too slow, you driving too fast. It's something I have really worked on. And yes, you can blame it on being a Virgo. You sure can. Did that help? Did that make it go away? It did not. So hiding behind your astrological sign, in my opinion, is spiritually chicken shit. Should I repeat that? Because that's a bold statement. Hiding behind your astrological sign is, in my opinion, spiritually chicken shit. So people will say, oh, Aries are always like that. Geminis are always like that. Virgos, honey, I have changed myself so much that when people do my birth chart, I don't even look like the same person. I am not the same person I was when I was born under those stars. Do those things absolutely 100% predict the likelihood of the person you're going to be? Yep, they do. And that's why you change it. That's why you go to an astrologer and you say, the astrologer says, well, you have a really hard placement. You've got this and this. And you say, what does that mean in English? And they tell you, and then you write that down and you work on it. You don't just use it as a crutch. You work on it. You improve yourself. And as you improve yourself, you're much less likely to be a target. Now, all right. Now, the last thing I just want to say is that for those of us, and I'm still targeted last night, this big dummy tried to mess with my dog. You know, that's a problem. You're going to have a problem. You're going to have a big problem. And actually, I did try to, it's a long story, but I did try. I mean, because I can be reactionary. I'm not no ascended master. I don't know what y'all think I am. I'm a human, flawed like everybody else. And I'm reactionary. If you punch me, I might count to 5 before I hit you back, but I might not. So I was going to punch this thing. And about the time that I was getting ready to just blast it with light, I mean, I had like a lot of like weapons in my mind. You know, I'm going to give it God light and it's going to shrivel. I mean, I was like, Marvel had nothing on me, y'all. Marvel had nothing on me. And my spirit guy's like, I'm like, what? I'm fixing to beat the, yeah. They're like, I'm like, what? For the love of God. They're like, and I turn around and it's Archangel Michael, like 8 foot tall. I'm like, oh, I'm out. Peace out. Go for it. I'm going to go over here. I'll be over here. Let me know when you're done. Jesus. So my point is, it still happens, right? It still happens to me. I'm a light. I'm emitting light. You're a light. Oh my God. Those people that say, am I a light worker? I'm just going to answer it for you. Yes. Yes. We're all light workers. You are a light worker. You don't have to have a YouTube channel to be a light worker. You just need to be having a beating heart, breathing, and think decent thoughts on occasion. That's a very low, boundary. You don't worry. You a light worker. But as you emit light, as you raise your vibration and you emit more light, for this analogy, we're going to go to our front porch. I know you think I have lost my mind at this point, but that's okay. Your front porch light, what does it do? Attract bugs that drive you crazy. And sometimes those June bugs get in your hair. Yeah. Okay. Sounds what I'm talking about. Now you're with me. Now you get it. Your light is going to attract June bugs that get in your hair. Nobody wants that. Ain't nobody want a June bug in their hair. Nobody. It's the same thing. As your light increases, well, Joker's like the guy that showed up last night who was pretty badass, I'm going to say. And I felt him. How it happened is I was asleep and I felt it. I felt the darkness. I was like, oh, hell, I'm trying to get some sleep. I rolled over. It didn't go away. And then it tried to mess with my dog. And I was like, all right, now we got problems. Yes, they're going to mess with you. And do you need to discern that it's dark? Probably not at that point. After you've raised your vibration, is it possible to get tricked? Yes, it's possible, but much less likely because now you know what it feels like, what love feels like. And that's what happened last night. I know what love feels like. I know what my spirit guides feel like. And this didn't feel like that. This felt dark and heavy and just very heavy and very dark. And your spirit guides usually feel lighter. It can be hard to contact them because they are so light and they're so high. And humans are usually down here because our vibration, well, first of all, we living in bad Disneyland. So that's takes a couple of, knocks off of our vibration right off the bat. But then after that, we're not loving ourselves because we've been taught that loving ourselves is egotistic, too big for your britches, all that stuff that you've got to let go of. As you love yourself, you start to rise your vibration, and then you're at a vibration that's similar to your spirit guides, and then it's much easier to talk. And that's exactly what I did to talk to my spirit guides. So I recognized this energy last night was bad. And I have to say, a bad habit that I have is I ignore them. If I don't answer the door, so I'm not letting them into my energy, they're standing outside of my energy, like standing on my front porch with the June bugs. I'm like, you can stand out there all day and not answering the door. But it decided to make a move to see if I would make a move. Another thing I'm always telling you guys is use a proxy. Archangel Michael is a free agent. Archangel Michael shows up for anybody, any religion, any atheist. It doesn't matter. Yes, I said atheist. They don't care. You've got a soul light. They don't care. They will come to your aid. And bonus, if you believe in them, if you can believe in it, it gives it power. If you believe in evil, you're giving it power. If you believe in curses, you're giving it power. And if you're not equally believing in a higher power, a divine power, and instead you're believing more in curses, then your power quotient is all jacked up. Guess what you're going to get more of? A steady diet of this joker. But if you believe, and sometimes we have to fake it till we make it, but you believe the good, the world is good, the average person is good, there's more good people than bad people, then you're not going to have so much of this. And when you do have it, you're going to be able to discern that it's not something you want to jack with, because you're going to understand what this is, what this love, this higher love is. But it really starts with understanding what love is. And that starts with self-love, because a vast majority of us have, unfortunately, not enough love in our lives. Our partners, our husbands, our wives, our kids, our parents are not often the best example of love. Their love comes with conditions. Their love comes with judgment. It's on, off. So we want to just love us 100% of the time. Not judgmental, not because I'm 10 pounds too heavy, not because I'm 100 pounds too heavy, not because I didn't get the degree, not because I lost the job, whatever. Your spirit guides love you through all of that and more. Your job is to learn to love yourself in that same way. And maybe, and this is true for me, maybe I will never get there. Maybe I'll never love myself as much as they love me. But you better believe I love myself 1,000 times more than I did before I started the process. Let's say 5 years ago, they were saying 2018 earlier. I don't know what that is. That might be 5 years. Imagine that. So did it take me 5 years? No, I made big strides in 1 year, big strides in 2 years. I'm making strides every day. It's a process. It's not a perfection event. This isn't flipping a switch. But truly, this is how you get discernment. Because if you don't know what love feels like, and you only know what bad feels like, judgment feels like, then an ascended master or something that looks like an ascended master shows up, you're not going to know if it's bad or good, because your scale for judging, for discerning, your ruler doesn't even have love on it. How can you know? So some things you can do is there's a million things you can do. And I think I'm going to do another video right after this on how to raise your vibration. I feel like I've done this video many times. And I feel like if you go into my playlist, if you click on the little squirrely thing, which is a labyrinth, if you click on my logo, it'll take you to the main YouTube page. From there, you can see playlists. You can see all the WOW videos under the playlist of WOW. But you can also see lots of, probably over 100 videos like this, teaching you things, empowering you to connect to your spirit guides, empowering you to get your guidance, your intuition. But it all comes from here. It all comes from in this human container, which houses your soul, which is evermore. You reusing your soul over and over again. You just wring it out in between lifetimes, hang it up to dry, put it back in, jump back down. So this soul has lots of experiences that are probably impacting you today. All these past lives are impacting you as well, hidden under the surface. So doing a deep dive in yourself. Don't try to fix your parents, your kids, your spouse, your work, external. Don't try to fix it. You cannot fix them. Repeat after me. I cannot fix anyone else. I can only fix myself. Once you fix yourself, they're either going to get in alignment with you or they're going to jet. And that's sometimes I think why we don't fix ourselves, because we don't want to lose them. You might be addicted to that trauma bond, which is fine. That's a normal thing that happens. When you're ready to address that trauma bond and free yourself and love yourself, then you will take those steps. And it truly, it happens whenever it happens. Your spirit guides are there with you every step of the way, whether it happens today, tomorrow, 5 years from now, or maybe for you, it happened 5 years in the past. It doesn't matter. When you're ready, your spirit guides are there ready to help you. Okay. So I'm going to do I'm going to do 2 minutes of how to raise your vibration. Every day, I want you to find 5 things you did not know you were grateful for. 5 things you did not know you were grateful for. So if you're sitting in your bedroom, you got to find 5 things in your bedroom. So case in point is, I don't like my curtains. I don't like the color. I don't like the drape. I don't like them. Now I'm sitting in this office and I got to find 5 things I'm grateful for that I didn't know I was grateful for. Well, now I'm going to look back at them curtains and I'm going to say, well, you know what? They do darken the room. You know what I mean? I like that. I appreciate that. I need that. So yeah, I'm grateful for those curtains. Doing this changes your whole vibrational set point. 5 things you didn't know you were grateful for. Maybe 5 things I didn't know I was grateful for work. 5 things I didn't know I was grateful for my own physical body. That's a good one. Find 5 things about your physical body right now that you're grateful for that you didn't know you were grateful for. Maybe you don't like your hair, but you're like, well, at least I got hair. Maybe you don't like your weight, but you can say, well, at least, but I don't like my weight, but I do love my fingers. My fingernails are awesome. I do love this about my body. I like how strong I am. I like that at the moment, I'm healthier than I was a year ago. It's a challenge. I'm not kidding you. It's a challenge. It will shift your entire vibration up. Do it as often as you can. Another thing to raise your vibration, look in the bathroom mirror, because usually it's small, and look at yourself eyeball to eyeball and say, I love you. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of respect. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of respect. I'm worthy of success. I'm worthy of wealth, of money. Now, if any of those things makes you cry, or you're having a hard time looking at yourself in your eyes and saying those things, that's a shadow work. That's a hidden thing that you can work on more. So you want to really Be gentle with yourself and say, oh, that made me sad. And that's okay. You can be sad. Okay, that made me sad that I am worthy of love. That makes me sad. That makes me upset. Okay, that's an indication that I've got some work to do there. So you know what I would suggest? I would suggest you looking at yourself and saying it twice a day instead of once a day. Twice a day. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of love. Say it at red lights. I don't care. It's your mantra. I'm worthy of love. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. You want to know what? You're going to brainwash yourself into believing you're worthy. And then when people treat you disrespectfully, you're going to discern that that was disrespectful because it was out of alignment with how you feel about yourself. And you're not going to put up with that. You're not going to give that the time of day. You won't even have to think about it. You won't think about it. You'll be like, I don't need to talk to you. Don't need to know you. Don't need to interact with you today until you get a better attitude. And what if they say the magic words? What if they say, oh, you're uppity. You're too big for your branches. Maybe I'm an owl. You're too big for your branches. That's hilarious. You're too big for your britches. You're egotistical. You know, that's the one that gets us, isn't it? No, I'm not egotistical. I just said I wasn't going to make you breakfast because I've already made breakfast and you overslept. And now, as far as I can tell, you're a grown-ass man. You can get in there and make your own breakfast. That's not being egotistical. That's stating a boundary. And that's what happens when you do this work of I am worthy. You're not going to jump through hoops to get people to love you because you love yourself. You don't even need their love. Their love is a bonus, right? So mirror work, which is talking to yourself and telling yourself that you're worthy, that you're lovable, that you can be healthy, that you can be successful. Bet on you. I'm betting on me. I don't know who else is betting on me, and I don't care. I don't care. I'm betting on me. And when you let yourself down, you're gentle to yourself. You don't say, God, Susan, you know, you ate a whole 5-pound thing of cheese. When are you ever going to learn? When are you going to listen to your spirit guides? That's not helpful. That doesn't help anybody. That's not a high vibration. That's a low vibration. We're not going to do that. We're going to say, whoo, I ate 5 pounds of cheese, y'all. That was probably not the thing to do, but I did it. And now that I've done it, I can completely say, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that again. I don't think it's healthy. I don't feel good. And, you know, I think that thing they say that all things in moderation, I think that's a better thing for me to do in the future. And you know what? I'm not going to buy 5 pounds of cheese. I'm going to buy 3 ounces of cheese. I'm going to help myself by buying things that don't trigger me or tempt me. Now, which one of those things is more healthy? Which one of those things do you think is going to get the better response? Which one solved the problem? One denigrated you. The other one gave you a problem-solving solution. Don't buy it. And there's no judgment in that. Don't buy it. If I don't buy it, I don't eat it. Simple solution, right? So raise your vibration. There's a million ways to do vibration raising. You can do guided meditations where you're listening to self-love. You can play affirmations, positive affirmations in your car. You can put in headphones if you've got other people in the car. You can play positive affirmations when you sleep at night. There's lots of ways to do this. It's really not even that hard. And like I said, the payoff is really big. It's big. You're looking at the payoff. Me. I have changed my life tremendously. Tremendously. Even while having my YouTube channel. Because I want to continue growing. And I am growing. And this is helping me discern. So this is how you can discern in your physical life and in your non-physical life. Okay. Thank you for tuning into this Way Out Wednesday. I really, really appreciate you. Take really, really good care of yourselves and know you are worthy. You are worthy. I'm sending you love and I'm sending you light. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Let me know in the comments and we'll see you soon, especially next Wednesday.